Welcome to the Deep Dive, the
Yeah.
show where we take a close look at a topic
Right.
and really try to understand it.
Hmm.
Today, we're going to be talking about Meatloaf's 1977 album, Bat Outta Hell,
Oh, yeah.
which is
A classic.
a huge album.
A total classic.
One of the best-selling albums of all time.
I think it sold over 43 million copies.
That's worldwide.
Worldwide, yeah.
And
Amazing.
it's still popular today.
It's incredible. It still sells
No, it's crazy.
hundreds of thousands of copies every year, yeah.
Yeah.
All over the world.
Have you ever listened to Bat Outta Hell?
Have you?
What are your favorite tracks?
So what do you think?
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
So this album, Bat Outta Hell, it's interesting because it wasn't always just meant to be an album.
Right.
It actually evolved from a futuristic rock musical
Yes.
called Neverland,
Based on Peter Pan.
a wild take on Peter Pan.
Yes. That's so cool.
Yeah, very cool. I've heard Bat Outta Hell compared to Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people compare the two.
But Jim Steinman, the composer, insisted that Springsteen wasn't a direct influence.
Yeah, he said that. But
It's interesting, though, because
it's funny because members of the E Street Band actually played on Bat Out of Hell.
it's kind of a weird
It's ironic.
twist, yeah.
Total twist.
Yeah, it's wild to think about how this album, which became this massive global success, was initially rejected by, like, tons of record labels.
I know, right?
Like, can you imagine?
It's crazy.
Meatloaf and Steinman, like, they really faced an uphill battle to get this project off the ground.
They really did. I think one record executive
One record executive even told Meatloaf.
told him actors don't make records.
Wow.
Talk about a lack of vision.
What?
Seriously.
That's insane.
It's a good thing they didn't give up.
I know.
I mean, they totally proved him wrong.
They sure did.
Big time.
Big time. So, getting back to the music itself, like, what do you think made Bat Outta Hell so different?
So different.
What made it stand out?
A lot of it is Jim Steinman's songwriting.
Oh, yeah.
The way he writes is so unique. It's like
He wasn't afraid to
these huge, over-the-top pieces
push boundaries.
that blend rock and roll with
His lyrics, yeah.
theatrical elements. It's really interesting.
Take, for example, the line, "And can't you see my faded Levi's bursting apart?"
Oh, from for crying out loud.
Yeah. It's so raw.
I know.
So visceral.
You're not holding anything back.
It captures that youthful, like, intensity so well.
And you know what? Steinman himself
Yeah.
said that was one of his most daring lyrics on the whole album. He
Yeah.
was really going for it.
That's amazing. So we
Yeah.
have the music and the lyrics, but we can't forget about the producer,
Right, right.
Todd Rundgren.
Todd Rundgren, yeah.
He brought a certain
He brought a certain, like, sensibility to the project.
sensibility to it.
Apparently, he thought the whole thing was like a parody of Springsteen.
Right.
That's what drew him to it.
Wow. That's so funny.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So Rundgren, he brings in all these different musicians.
He'd use like a mix, right?
Yeah, from his band Utopia, members of the E Street Band.
It's just kind of funny.
It's kind of a funny connection.
Given that whole...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It created this really unique sound.
And it's worth mentioning.
You know what else is funny?
Yeah.
Rundgren himself played the motorcycle solo on the title track.
Oh, yeah.
On Bat Outta Hell.
That's such a cool solo.
It is.
Like, it really captures that, like,
I know.
raw energy,
I need that.
rebellious spirit
Totally.
of the song.
It's almost cinematic.
Okay, before we get into the individual songs,
Yeah.
we have to talk about the album cover.
Album art. Oh, yeah.
It's so iconic.
It is.
That image of the motorcycle, like, bursting from the grave
I know.
with that giant bat
That giant bat on top of the mausoleum.
on the mausoleum. Yeah.
It's incredible.
You see it, you know what it is.
Instantly recognizable.
It was illustrated by Richard Corbin, who was a pretty famous comic book artist.
Yeah, he's very famous.
And
And it really fits the album, don't you think?
it really does.
That over-the-top theatrical...
That's a little over the top, maybe even a little kitschy today.
Oh, totally. But it works.
It totally works.
I think it really captured
like it became such a symbol
the energy of the time.
of the era. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting how like powerful visual imagery can be in shaping
Totally.
how we perceive music.
I know. It's like it sets the stage for the
Yeah.
whole experience.
So we've talked about the origins of the album,
Mm-hmm.
the challenges in getting it produced,
Right.
this unique mix of musical styles,
Yeah.
and of course that incredible cover art.
That iconic cover art.
Now, let's actually dive into some of the individual songs on the album.
Okay, let's do it.
We got to start with the title track, Bat Out of Hell.
Oh, yes,
It's almost 10 minutes long,
it is.
which is like pretty unusual for a rock song.
Pretty unusual.
What were your like initial impressions of this track?
My initial impressions, well, first of all, it's a perfect example of Steinman's theatrical style.
Yeah.
Huge, dramatic. He wanted to create the ultimate crash song.
Really?
And I think he nailed it.
It's a powerful anthem
It is.
about living life on the edge.
On the edge. Yeah.
Pushing boundaries,
Totally.
embracing passion,
Yeah, yeah.
even if it's dangerous.
Even if it's a little dangerous.
There's a real sense of urgency and recklessness in the music.
I know. It's like...
You feel it.
You feel it, yeah. It's like, yeah.
And Meatloaf's vocals.
Oh, don't even get me started on the vocals.
Amazing.
They're incredible.
He really sells that
He does.
feeling of youthful abandon.
He really does. It's amazing.
Like you feel...
You feel that yearning.
Yeah, that yearning.
Yeah.
It's wild to think that Steinman actually wrote Bat Out of Hell for a Peter Pan musical.
Oh, that's right.
Initially.
Yeah.
Like he was gonna...
For his musical Neverland?
Yeah, he was gonna use it.
It was going to be about Peter's, like, eternal youth.
That makes so much sense.
And his refusal to grow up.
Because it has those themes of
Yeah, totally.
escapism and rebellion.
It makes so much sense.
It's like you hear it.
It adds a whole other layer of meaning, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So we have this like epic song about reckless abandon. This desire to stay young forever.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
What do you think?
Like, what's the deeper message?
Yeah. What's the deeper message? Is there one?
I think it speaks to that feeling of wanting to be free.
Yeah.
You know, wanting to break free from constraints, from rules.
Oh, yeah.
Like, live life on your own terms. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's almost like a rebellion against expectations, you know?
It is.
Like embracing that, like, wild freedom.
Wild freedom.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's that honesty, that raw emotion.
Yes.
That makes Bat Out of Hell so powerful.
And it makes it
Makes it timeless.
timeless. Yeah, like it speaks to...
It speaks to something inside of all of us.
I know. It's like...
You know, it transcends time and generations.
Totally.
So, Bat Out of Hell sets the stage for the album.
It does.
But let's move on to another super popular track.
Okay.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Hot Summer Night.
Oh, yes. A classic.
What do you think of this one?
This one. Oh, this one is such a fun blend of influences.
Yeah, it's really interesting musically.
Musically, it's got like those driving rock chords, like the Who's Bob O'Reilly.
I can hear that.
But then it's got this layer of like Phil Spector wall of sound on top of it.
Yeah. It's a really cool mix.
And that spoken word intro.
Oh, the spoken word intro. It's like
very theatrical.
Yeah, it's like a scene from a play.
It's so unexpected.
I know.
But it works so well.
I love it.
It's brilliant.
It really sets the scene for.
It does. It creates this atmosphere of like anticipation and romance.
And it ties back into those
It does.
theatrical roots of the album.
Yeah,
It's like, you know, in Steinman's original Neverland musical, that spoken word piece, Hot Summer Night, and the song itself were actually used as wedding vows.
That's right, yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Like, it adds this whole other layer of meaning to the song.
It makes you listen to it in a whole new way.
It's
like we're listening in.
We're like flies on the wall.
On this like intimate moment between these two lovers.
I know.
And it's just.
It's brilliant.
It elevates it beyond just a typical love song.
It really does.
It's like this like dramatic exchange.
Yeah.
You know?
A pledge of devotion.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's also just so catchy.
Oh, it's so catchy.
And upbeat.
It makes you want to move.
It makes you want to move.
Yeah.
It's perfect for like radio play.
Totally.
But it also has that depth and complexity.
It does. It does. There's so much going on there.
That makes you want to keep coming back.
It makes you want to like listen to it again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really great song.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've had like the title track, which is like this
big anthem.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Right.
Which is
more romantic.
A little more romantic, upbeat.
Yeah.
But now we're going to talk about 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
This one's a little different.
It is a little different.
It's a little more melancholy.
It is. It's more introspective.
Would you say?
Yeah, I would say that it's still got that that Steinman sound, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, you can tell it's a Steinman song.
You can tell it's a Steinman song. Yeah, the vocals, the epic scope. But it's definitely more of a ballad, and it's about accepting that sometimes you don't get everything you want in love.
It's kind of got like a classic rock feel.
It does. It kind of reminds me of something the Eagles might have released around that time.
Eagles would have released, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because Todd Rundgren actually talked about that in the Classic Albums documentary.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He said that the song was influenced by the Eagles.
Yeah, he did.
Which, I mean, they were super popular.
They were huge.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, they were huge at that time.
That's really interesting.
It's a cool little connection.
And I think Rundgren also mentioned, like, the humor in the lyrics.
Oh, yeah, there's some great humor in there.
Which, I mean, it's subtle.
It is. Yeah. It is, but it's there. Like the line.
Yeah, yeah. Like, there ain't no Coupe de Ville hiding at the bottom of a Cracker Jack box.
I love that line.
It's such a great line.
It's so unexpected.
I know. It's so quirky.
And quirky.
It's so Steinman.
You're right.
You could only get away with that in a Meatloaf song.
Absolutely.
It's true.
It's that, like, blend of humor and pathos.
I know.
That makes Steinman's work so unique.
He can make you laugh.
Yeah.
And then break your heart.
Like in the same song.
Yeah.
All right, so we've covered 3 very different songs so far.
We have.
Bat Out of Hell, this like
Welcome.
Rock anthem, a rebellion.
Yeah, about rebellion.
You took the words right out of my mouth, which is this theatrical love song.
Yeah, yeah.
And then 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad, which is this bittersweet ballad about accepting loss.
About accepting loss, yeah.
But, you know, they all have these, like,
they do.
Steinman elements.
We all have that, you know.
They all have the theatricality.
The theatrical.
The epic scale.
Yeah.
The emotional depth.
The emotional depth, yeah. It's no wonder this album resonated with so many people.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, yeah.
And speaking of resonance, we haven't even talked about Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
We haven't gotten to that one yet.
This is the song that...
This is like the ultimate...
truly embodies everything we've been talking about so far.
Yeah, the drama, the humor, the baseball.
The baseball, yeah.
And, of course, the over-the-top romance.
It's an experience.
It's a whole experience.
Like listening to that song.
Yeah, it's like a mini movie.
It's like a little mini movie.
It's a mini movie.
Yeah, and we have to dedicate like a good chunk of time to it.
We do.
We're going to unpack it in the next segment.
Absolutely. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stick around.
It's going to be good.
We'll be right back.
Right back. Welcome back to the show.
We are in the middle of dissecting Meatloaf's Bat Outta Hell.
We are.
And we left off.
We did.
Ready to tackle Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Yes. This is
a true masterpiece.
It really is.
Of storytelling through music.
What is it about Paradise by the Dashboard Light that makes it such a unique storytelling experience within the album?
Well, for starters, it's almost 8 minutes long.
It's so long.
It is, and it tells this complete story.
Yeah.
With these 3 distinct acts.
It really does feel like a mini rock opera.
It does. It's like a mini rock opera, and each act uses these musical motifs to develop the narrative.
You can really hear that.
You can.
Like how the music shifts.
It does.
To match the story.
Yeah, and each act represents like a different stage.
Yeah.
In this whirlwind romance.
Yeah, it starts with that
initial spark.
That initial spark of attraction.
Yeah.
In the Paradise section.
I love that first part.
The energy is
electric.
It's like youthful.
Reckless infatuation.
Yes. And those lyrics.
Oh my gosh.
They're so vivid.
So cool.
They paint this picture of this passionate encounter in a car.
A car on a hot summer night.
On a hot summer night. It's like a movie.
It's so cinematic.
It's so cinematic.
And Meatloaf's vocals.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Amazing.
They're amazing.
He sells that.
He does.
That intense longing.
He does.
And desire.
You can just feel the heat.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
But then the song shifts.
It does.
Into Let Me Sleep on It.
Yes.
Where the woman...
She puts on the brakes.
She puts on the brakes.
Yeah.
She's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, she demands a commitment before things go any further.
I love that.
It's a great twist.
It's such a good twist.
The song goes from this like fiery, impulsive energy to this moment of hesitation and bargaining.
You really hear it in the music too.
The music changes.
It becomes slower, more reflective.
More reflective, yeah.
Mirroring that shift in the story.
It's brilliant.
I've always found the baseball commentary.
Oh, the baseball commentary.
In Paradise to be a bit jarring.
I know what you mean.
Like, I'm not sure.
It's definitely unconventional.
Yeah, unconventional.
But I kind of think it works.
Do you?
I do.
Really?
I think it adds like a layer of humor and surrealism that elevates the song.
You think so?
I do.
Okay.
It's not your typical love story.
Yeah. No, it's not like anything.
It's not. It's like Meatloaf and Ellen Foley are going back and forth, and then suddenly we're in a baseball game.
It's wild. But it works.
But it works.
So how did this even happen?
How did this happen?
Like, who thought of this?
Well, Steinman was a master of the unexpected. Yeah. And he somehow managed to weave in baseball commentary by the legendary New York Yankees announcer.
No way.
Phil Rizzuto.
Phil Rizzuto.
Into this tale of teenage lust.
It's so crazy.
It's crazy, and it works.
It's crazy that it works.
I know.
It's one of those things that...
It could have been a disaster.
Well, it could have been terrible.
It could have.
But it's not.
But it's not.
It's brilliant.
It's iconic.
Yeah, and then
the song shifts again.
Right.
Into that final act.
Into praying for the end of time.
Praying for the end of time.
And this is where they like finally give in to their passion.
Yeah.
But there's this...
There's a sense of resignation.
Resignation almost.
Almost like they know.
Like they know it's not.
Yeah, it's not going to last.
It's going to last.
But they're going to do it anyway.
He's swept up in the moment.
Yeah.
It's kind of tragic.
It is a little bit bittersweet.
Yeah, bittersweet.
Yeah.
It's like they know it might be a mistake.
Yeah.
But the desire.
The desire is so strong.
It's so strong.
They can't help themselves.
It's such a human experience.
It is. It's a very human experience. And that's the genius of Steinman's writing.
He really gets it.
He does. He captures those.
He captures those universal truths about love and loss and longing.
Yeah.
And he does it.
With such theatricality.
It's such theatricality.
And power.
It's amazing.
Okay, so Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Definitely a highlight.
Undeniably a highlight of this album.
Of the album.
But let's move on to the closer.
Okay.
For crying out loud.
For crying out loud. What a way to end the album.
What do you think about this one?
I think it's the perfect ending to this emotional roller coaster.
It really is.
Of an album.
Yeah, it's a power ballad.
It is. But it's filled with this raw desperation.
Yes.
This yearning. That's just heartbreaking.
With the lyrics.
All the lyrics are so powerful.
So good.
They really capture that vulnerability and that intensity of being just head over heels in love.
My favorite line.
Oh, yeah.
And can't you see my faded Levi's bursting apart?
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that line. So good.
It's pure emotional release.
It is. And the way Meatloaf belts it out.
All the vocals.
You can feel the pain and the desperation.
The desperation.
It's like he's pleading.
Yeah.
For his love to be reciprocated.
Yeah, and the way the music swells.
Oh, the music.
It builds.
The music is amazing.
Creating this sense of overwhelming emotion.
I know. It's like it washes over you.
It really does.
Yeah.
It leaves you
breathless. Emotionally spent.
But somehow satisfied. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a testament to Steinman's ability.
It is.
To craft these songs.
Yeah.
That just evoke such powerful emotions.
It's almost operatic.
It's huge.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
It brings the album full circle.
Yeah.
Back to that theme of youthful passion.
Yeah.
And the complexities of love.
It's amazing.
That we see throughout the whole album.
We've talked about Paradise.
We have.
We've talked about Bat Out of Hell. For crying out loud.
Yeah.
What about the other songs on the album?
What about them?
There are so many we haven't talked about yet.
There are.
What are some of your favorites?
Ooh, favorites. Well,
what stands out to you?
All Revved Up with No Place to Go is a classic.
It's so good.
It's such a good one.
So catchy.
It's so catchy. It's got that driving energy that's just infectious.
Makes you want to move.
Makes you want to move.
Yeah.
And Heaven Can Wait is a beautiful ballad.
Oh, yeah.
It really showcases Meatloaf's vocal range.
Oh, for sure.
But honestly, I love every song.
It's a great album.
On this album, it's such a good album. Each song tells its own story.
Yeah.
And they all come together to create this incredible tapestry of sound and emotion. So
beyond the individual songs, what do you think makes this album?
What makes it so enduring?
So enduring. Like why?
Why are we still talking about it?
Why are we still talking about it decades later?
Decades later, I think it's a combination of things.
Yeah.
The music is timeless.
Yeah.
Songwriting is brilliant.
Steinman.
Steinman.
He was a genius.
And Meatloaf's performance.
Oh my gosh.
Legendary.
Legendary.
But I also think it's the album's ability
Yeah.
to tap into those universal themes
Yeah.
of love and loss and that yearning for freedom.
That yearning for freedom.
That resonates with people of all ages.
Regardless of
all backgrounds. It's incredible.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an album that speaks...
It speaks to the teenager in all of us. That part of us that wants adventure.
That wants passion.
Wants
a little rock and roll rebellion.
Yes.
But it also speaks... to the adults.
Oh, the adults.
We become the ones who've experienced heartbreak.
The ones who've had challenges.
The ones who've learned that life isn't always a fairy tale.
Yeah, it's an album that acknowledges...
It does.
That life is complex.
Yeah.
But it still celebrates.
The
beauty and power of human emotion.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so enduring.
It's amazing.
It is.
It's a reminder.
A reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
There's always love.
There's always love.
And there's always rock and roll. Beautifully said.
Thank you.
But before we wrap up our deep dive into Bat Out of Hell, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier. We talked about the album's theatrical origins.
We did.
And the influence of Jim Steinman's background in musical theater.
Yeah, he was very theatrical.
But beyond the obvious elements, like the vocals, the epic scope of the songs, how else do you think Steinman's theatrical sensibilities shaped
the album?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
I think one of the key ways
is through the album's
narrative structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just a collection of songs.
Yeah, it's like a journey.
It's a journey. It's carefully crafted.
It really is.
With a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
Each song contributes to the overall narrative.
I love this.
And they flow together seamlessly.
Yeah.
Like acts in a play.
Yes, exactly.
It's like we're watching a rock opera unfold before our very ears.
And his use of dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
In songs like Paradise and You Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth. Enhances that.
The theatrical feel.
Yeah,
it's like we're eavesdropping on conversations between characters in a play.
And the characters themselves.
The characters.
Are so well developed.
They're so well developed.
They're not just one-dimensional.
No, they have depth.
They have flaws.
They have
desires.
And that's what makes them so relatable.
Yeah, you really connect with them.
You really do.
I think it's that combination.
I think so, too.
Of those relatable characters.
Yeah.
The dramatic storytelling.
Yeah.
The powerful music.
Yes.
That makes Bat Out of Hell.
It makes it so captivating.
So captivating.
It transports you to another world.
It does.
A world where anything is possible.
Yes.
A world where love and loss and longing are all amplified to
huge
operatic proportions.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a world we can all escape to.
We can.
Even if just for a little while.
I
think that's another reason why this album is so enduring.
I think so, too. It offers us a chance to step outside of our everyday lives and into this world of pure emotion and theatrical grandeur.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you.
And on that note,
I
think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into Bat Out of Hell.
Ah.
But before we go,
we
want to hear from you.
We do.
What are your favorite moments?
Yeah. What are your favorite moments?
From this album.
From the album.
What makes it special for you?
Yeah.
Share your thoughts in the comments.
Yes, we love hearing your perspectives.
We love hearing from you guys.
Yeah.
And until next time.
Yeah.
Keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep into the music that moves you.
So we've spent a lot of time talking about Bat Out of Hell itself.
Yeah.
But I think we should take a step back.
Okay.
And think about, like, the time when this album was released.
Oh, the cultural context.
The cultural context, yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
1977.
1977? That was a crazy time for music.
It was.
Like, punk rock was exploding.
Yeah.
Disco was everywhere.
It was huge.
There was this feeling of, like, rebellion.
Yeah.
And change in the air.
It was a year of extremes.
It was.
And then you have Bat Out of Hell.
Right.
Which is this album that blends, like, classic rock operatic elements.
Yeah.
Theatrical storytelling.
It's so unique.
And it it stood out.
It didn't really fit
on
in.
Everything else that was happening.
Yeah, it didn't fit in any of the existing genres.
It was its own thing.
It was its own thing, and I think that's part of what made it so appealing.
Yeah, like it was different.
It was different.
Like it offered something.
It was fresh.
Fresh.
It was new.
New and different.
It was escapism.
Yeah, it was a kind of escapism from all the anxiety and uncertainty of the time.
I mean, could you imagine listening to, like, the Sex Pistols?
Oh, yeah.
And then putting on Bat Out of Hell.
I know, it's like...
such a different vibe.
Completely different worlds.
I think Bat Out of Hell was almost like a countercultural statement.
Oh, interesting.
Like a rejection of...
A rejection of punk and disco.
Yeah, like those trends.
Yeah, it's big.
It's so big.
It's bold. Bold. It's unapologetically romantic.
And I think
people were looking for that.
Yeah, like they were looking for something.
Yeah. Something more.
Something more. Something that spoke to their own desires and dreams.
And I think the album art.
Yeah, the visuals.
Yeah, the visuals.
They're so important.
They are?
Like that album cover.
Oh my gosh, that album cover.
The motorcycle.
The motorcycle bursting out of the grave.
It's so 70s rock and roll.
It's so 70s. It's so over the top.
Over the top.
And dramatic.
Yeah, and it just fits the music so well.
It does. It really does. And you know what?
Like
those images, they've become so iconic.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Even people who haven't heard the album recognize that imagery.
It's really powerful.
It's a testament to the power of visual storytelling.
Absolutely. And I think that visual element really contributed
I think so too.
to the album's success.
It definitely grabbed people's attention.
Yeah, it created this sense of mystery and intrigue.
And then MTV.
Oh, yeah, MTV.
Which was just starting to become popular in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Those music videos for Bat Out of Hell and Paradise.
I love those videos.
They were in heavy rotation. They were on all the time.
And they introduced the album
to a whole new audience.
To a whole new generation.
They were like mini movies.
They were so good.
So good.
So dramatic.
So much fun.
And they really helped to cement the album's status as a cultural phenomenon.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And over time, the album just...
it kept growing.
Kept getting bigger.
It became a staple of classic rock radio.
You hear it everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And the songs are in movies, TV shows.
Broadway musicals.
Broadway musicals.
It's amazing.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
It's like it's touched so many people.
It really has.
Why do you think it's so enduring?
Why is it so enduring?
Well, the music is just so catchy.
It is. It's well crafted.
It hooks.
Oh, those hooks.
They get stuck in your head.
They get stuck in your head. And Meatloaf's performance is so
powerful.
Powerful, yeah.
But I also think...
I think there's more to it than just the music.
Yeah, it's more than just the music.
It's the themes.
The themes.
The storytelling.
The storytelling.
The overall feeling of the album.
Yeah.
It connects with people on a deeper level.
It's true. It speaks to these universal themes.
It does. Those universal themes of love and loss.
And rebellion.
And rebellion and the desire for freedom.
Yeah.
Which are just as relevant today
absolutely
as they were in 1977.
And Steinman's lyrics.
Oh, those lyrics.
They're so good.
They're so evocative.
Yeah, they really capture those.
They capture those intense feelings of youth.
Yeah, like heartbreak.
Heartbreak.
Exhilaration. Like those moments that we all go through.
We all experience those.
At some point.
At some point.
It's an album that you can listen to.
You can listen to it.
At any point in your life.
At any point in your life. And it'll still speak to you. It'll still have something new to offer.
Like it could be a soundtrack to your teenage angst.
Yeah.
It can be a reminder of your first love.
Yeah.
Or it can be a source of comfort.
Yeah.
During hard times. And I love the humor in this album.
Oh, the humor.
Like it's full of...
It's full of quirky moments and unexpected twists.
It never takes itself too seriously.
It doesn't.
Which I think is part of its charm.
I think so too. It's like a reminder to not take life too seriously.
Yeah.
To embrace the absurdity of it all.
Yes, and to find joy.
Yes.
In the unexpected.
Yeah, love that.
I think we've covered just about everything.
I think so too.
There's to say.
Yeah.
About Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell.
About Bat Out of Hell.
We've explored its origins.
Its impact.
Its legacy.
It's been an amazing journey.
It really has.
And I hope our listeners have a new appreciation for this album.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to Bat Out of Hell,
give it a listen.
You really should.
It's an experience. It is an experience.
You won't forget.
And let us know what you think.
Yeah, what are your favorite songs?
What resonates with you?
Leave a comment below.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys.
We do.
And until next time.
Until next time. Keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep.